The SUV slowed to a halt at the edge of the forest road as thick snow muted every sound around it. The headlights carved pale tunnels through the trees before the engine finally shut off, leaving an unsettling silence behind. When the door opened, freezing air rushed inside, biting into Claire Harrington's skin. She sat stiffly in the passenger seat, watching her husband move without a word. Michael Harrington stepped out first, adjusting his pristine wool coat as if this were any ordinary stop. At 38, he carried himself with a refined confidence, clean-cut hair, spotless gloves, and the composed posture of a man accustomed to control. From the outside he looked dependable, even caring. But something in his silence unsettled Claire. He opened the trunk and pulled out her wheelchair, the metal frame clinking softly as it touched the snow. Claire's breath fogged the glass as unease crept into her chest. "Where are we?" she asked calmly, forcing steadiness into her voice. "Just somewhere quiet," Michael replied, his tone light but distant. "You need fresh air." The forest stretched endlessly around them, tall trees heavy with snow watching without judgment. Michael helped Claire out of the car with practiced efficiency, settling her into the wheelchair. His hands were firm, precise, and oddly impersonal. The cold seeped into Claire immediately. She pulled her scarf tighter and glanced at her phone. No signal. "There's no reception here," she said. Michael's lips curved slightly. "That's the idea." He crouched beside the chair, adjusting something beneath the seat. Then came a sharp metallic snap. Claire felt the chair jolt unnaturally. "Michael." Her voice cracked as panic surged. He twisted again, harder. Something broke. The left wheel sagged inward at a wrong angle. "What are you doing?" she whispered. Michael stood slowly, brushing snow from his knees. The pleasant mask dropped from his face, replaced by cold calculation. "I'm done pretending," he said calmly. "I never loved you. I loved what you represented." Her heart pounded as realization struck. He spoke of money, of control, of convenience, of how her disability made everything easier for him. "By morning," he continued, "the storm will erase everything. They'll think you came here on your own." Claire reached for him desperately. "Please? I trusted you." "You trusted an image," he replied, stepping back. The engine roared. Snow sprayed as the SUV disappeared down the road, leaving Claire alone. The forest closed in. The silence was absolute. And far beyond the trees, unseen by Michael, another path was already being followed. Winter lay heavily over the small mountain town as Ethan Walker stepped out of his truck and breathed in the frozen air. At 36, his movements were controlled, economical, shaped by years of discipline and survival. His gray eyes scanned the familiar surroundings instinctively, not searching for danger but never ignoring it either. Beside him, Rook jumped down from the truck bed. The German Shepherd moved with quiet confidence, alert amber eyes tracking the environment. He was no ordinary dog. Every motion carried purpose. The old house stood exactly as Ethan remembered, weathered wood, a sagging porch, memories pressed into every board. It had been his father's home. Thomas Walker, a forest ranger, had died years earlier during a winter rescue, saving a stranger but never returning himself. That loss had shaped Ethan's life, guiding him toward service, structure, and the belief that some people must run toward danger. Inside, warmth fought against the cold. Margaret Walker sat near the stove, frail but sharp-eyed. Illness had thinned her frame, but her mind remained clear. She smiled weakly when she saw her son. That evening, Ethan went running through the forest with Rook as he did every night. The trees offered peace, a place where memories softened and control returned. Rook ran ahead, circling back periodically, a silent partnership forged through trust. Then Rook stopped. Not suddenly, but with intention. His nose lowered to the snow, ears forward. Ethan slowed instantly. Something was wrong. Tracks crossed the trail. Fresh. Uneven. Wheel marks. Ethan crouched, studying the broken pattern. This wasn't a place people came. And not during a storm. Rook let out a low bark and moved forward. They followed the trail deeper into the trees as wind stirred the falling snow. Then Ethan heard it, a faint sob nearly swallowed by the storm. He ran. Through the trees he saw her. Claire sat alone, her wheelchair tilted awkwardly, one wheel broken and buried. Her hands were bare and red, her breathing shallow and panicked. Snow clung to her hair as tears froze on her lashes. "Claire," Ethan said instinctively. She looked up, disbelief flashing across her face. "Ethan?" He was beside her instantly. Rook pressed his warm body against her legs, steady and protective. Ethan wrapped his jacket around her shoulders, checking her pulse, assessing the cold. He left me, she whispered. Ethan's jaw tightened. Rage would come later. Survival came first. I'll carry you, he said firmly. As snow began falling harder, Ethan lifted her carefully and moved through the forest, unaware that this rescue was only the beginning. The cabin door swung open as Ethan stepped inside, Claire still in his arms. Heat rushed toward them from the stove, painful against skin numbed by cold. Margaret looked up and froze. It's her, she whispered. Memories surged, Claire's father standing in this room years ago, dismissive and cruel. But those ghosts vanished the moment Margaret saw the blue tinge on Claire's lips and the violent tremor in her body. By the stove, Margaret ordered calmly. Slowly. They worked together with quiet urgency. Blankets. Warm water. Gentle movements. Rook lay pressed against Claire, radiating heat, never leaving her side. Through the night, Claire spoke in fragments. About the forest. The broken wheel. The truth Michael had finally revealed. Ethan listened, his expression unreadable, anger simmering beneath control. By morning Claire slept, truly slept. And with daylight came resolve. This wasn't an accident, Ethan said quietly. This was planned. News alerts confirmed it. Michael Harrington was already performing, grieving husband before cameras, building a narrative. He's lying, Claire whispered. Then we exposed the truth, Ethan replied. That afternoon Ethan returned to the forest with Rook. The snow hadn't erased everything. Tracks broken metal. Proof. That night Ethan entered Michael's estate unseen. The house smelled of wealth and order, too clean, too controlled. In the study, hidden documents told the full story. Financial transfers. Legal manipulation. Plans. Michael arrived home while Ethan was still inside. Seconds stretched dangerously as footsteps passed within feet of him. But Ethan waited. He left unseen with everything needed. By dawn the evidence reached the FBI. Charges followed quickly. Attempted murder. Fraud. Abuse. Michael's performance collapsed. Claire regained her life piece by piece, her name, her voice, her future. And as winter loosened its grip, something stronger replaced fear, truth. The arrest came quietly at sunrise. Michael Harrington stood frozen as cuffs closed around his wrists, the mask finally gone. Cameras captured the moment, but no performance could save him now. Across town, Claire watched from the warmth of a modest home. There was no fear in her eyes, only clarity. Justice hadn't arrived loudly, but it had arrived completely. Life moved forward with intention. Claire healed. Margaret grew stronger. Ethan stayed, not as a rescuer but as a partner. They married simply, beneath the trees that once witnessed despair. Rook lay at their feet, older now, steady as ever. Together they built something new, a community center open to those who had nowhere else to turn. A place for dignity, help, and quiet hope. Because sometimes miracles don't come as thunder. Sometimes they arrive as a man who listens, a dog who stays, and a choice to act when it would be easier to walk away. The end.